COMMS by Coops, Formula Racing League, Taco Tuesdays, round 3 at Zolder. Pleasure to be with you guys this evening. It's going to be breathtaking, is how I describe it for tonight. It's I've been bigging it up all day. I'm 100% sure it will not disappoint. But yeah, let's get settled in. We've got some extremely good races on tonight, as you all know. We've got everybody from Tier 1. We've got one person who can't be with us this evening, which we'll obviously run through. But in that chap's place, we have an extremely quick guy. And yeah, and we'll be able to push it on from there. So everybody that was having keeping their eyes peeled earlier on YouTube would have seen a little video put out with regards to our featured driver for this evening. I'm keen to do this interview because he's a bit of a mysterious chap. We don't hear much from him, just the odd comment every now and then. But if you did watch the video, it will be self-evident on why we're talking to this chap tonight. So I'd like us to welcome our current championship leader, IR Graham. Are you with us, mate?
I am indeed. Evening.
How are you?
I'm alright.
Good. I'm dandy. I'm good now we're talking. I was a bit worried that you weren't going to come in earlier on. I was thinking, come on, no, that fine. Good to speak to you, and thanks for taking a bit of time out of practice. Obviously, it's the first one of these you've done with myself, so. Not that this is a dating show, but let's get your bio. So a few details about yourself and how you got involved with FRL, Graham.
I came across FRL by chance, I think, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Last year, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It feels like ages ago now.
How old are you?
33.
I was going to say you sound a lot younger than me.
How old are you?
Older than that, 41. But to everyone else, no, I know it's not, to be fair. But this is what keeps me young, watching you guys drive so fast. So, I mean, you had a stonking result on Sunday. That was impressive. In the British GT3 series, you had an epic race from Michael. Do you see that happening tonight as well? Although we've got other big names in this grid, haven't we?
We do. I don't see that happening tonight. No.
No. What's your prediction?
It's looking very much like Riker's quite clearly good. I know GTJ was mega quick yesterday. I would imagine Michael, Crazy are all going to be up there.
Yeah.
Will be up there. They'll all be up there. But I feel like this is not my best track. That's for sure.
And is that because you feel it's not suited to the Merc, or is that just a personal thing that you're not a huge fan of the track?
Personal thing. I hate this track.
Do you know what? Everyone that's watching, right, in the Discord earlier on today, obviously, keeping an eye, having a chat with the guys, and literally, there's only one person who's put in there how much they love the track, and that's me.
Really?
And that's me.
Oh, really?
Everyone else is like, oh, this track, they can't do this with the car, can't do that with the curbs, and I'm just thinking, yes, I love Zolder, I think it's amazing. But that's usually going because I'm just sat in the comms box watching it, so...
Watching everyone crash out of
yeah, it's easy. I mean, Lurchy's in practice earlier on. He's driving in the McLaren, and I think he went round down the hairpin at the back of the circuit, and he ended up with one of the advertising boards on his roof. But he was driving around the track with it on his roof, and I was like, "Quick, get a picture of that!" It was crazy. Okay, good. So you're predicting a close race, but you don't think you're going to be at the sharp end. I'll challenge that.
I expect to be buried a little more in the pack tonight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as it's not a particularly wide track, and
it's going to be tough to overtake.
That's the thing. It's not easy to overtake on, and everyone's pretty quick. So it might be a case of who's got the sharpest elbows today.
To be fair, this lobby is absolutely insane.
Yep.
Like the amount of good people. Like I reckon there's a good 7 or 8 people who could quite easily win a race. Plus another 3 or 4 that probably could win a race on a good day for sure.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
totally agree.
Crazy, this level.
Yeah, that's why we love it. That's why we love
Amen.
it. Indeed. But you're leading the pack, dude. So that's.
I don't know how.
I do, because you're very consistent.
To be fair, Imola, I don't know what happened to Imola. I think Crazy's had some kind of issue with the pits or something and lost a load of time. I think Michael span out.
Yeah.
And that pretty much gave me the win, because me and Will were basically exactly the same pace.
Yeah. And that, I mean, thank God for double points, eh?
Amen to that. And I think Spa, I got really lucky. Like, I didn't crash going up Eau Rouge, and I think pretty much everyone else had some kind of issue. So
that's very magnanimous of you. It's not luck. It's not luck, Graham. It's skill.
Well,
it's skill. You're not at the sharp end in Tier 1 with luck. It doesn't work like that.
I mean, I've practiced quite a lot for the first 2 races, so
good.
That makes a difference. But yeah, I feel like tonight's not going to be. It's not going to be that simple.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it there for now. I'll let you get a little bit more practice in. Again, many thanks for joining us. I'm not going to talk to you about the business venture. We'll leave that for another day. Yeah. In fact, we'll do a whole segment on that if you want.
Out of interest, though. How many sheets do you use?
Well, me, I'm usually sort of. I'll start off with maybe 8, yeah, and then I'll progress down. It depends how much time I've got, really. If I'm in a real rush, I'll just pull them up and leg it. But that's if I've got 2 kids around my ankles.
It's a lot of sheets, that.
I'm artistic. I'm artistic,
impressive.
and I'm a folder. Yeah. There you go. No one knew that, did they?
I'm a folder.
See, there we go.
But I'm a 3-sheet man. Just
a 3-sheet man. Lurchies will be interested in that one, won't he? Good. Okay, mate. Listen, honestly, best of luck for tonight.
Cheers, dude.
Yeah,
nice to speak to you.
Don't sweat too much. I'm sure everyone's going to be working hard out there.
Amen to that.
All right, buddy. See you later.
Have a good one. Peace.
You too. Cheers. There we go. See, you guys weren't expecting that, were you, tonight? IR Graham, our current championship leader, come in to have a chat. What a lovely chap. Actually, never spoken to him before, and yeah, it's good to get to know everyone. So, as we said before, we are currently at Zolder, and you guys are looking at the pit entry, which isn't too great for you. So let's move and have a look at our Copper Jaguar that DeWill is currently driving. As you all know, there are certain format that we follow, so we'll have a look at the stand-ins. So IR Graham is obviously leading on 116 points. DeWill is second on 86 points. He's obviously going to be hoping to close that down tonight. Why are we not seeing the car? There we go. Let's watch Graham, featured driver. Let's have a little watch of him. We are still in free practice. So yeah, DeWill is in second place on 86 points. Crazies is in third in the Nissan, only 5 points behind DeWill on 81 points. Wood Friedman, our featured driver last week's on 79 points. Michael Races on 76. GTJ 1982 is on 66 points. Bruges is on 64. Euphoric State's on 44 points in the Porsche. Ray Kachu is on 40 points in the Bentley. We'll have to watch out for him tonight. Reedy LFC is currently 10th on 36 points. Nafbit, who's part of the Fresh stable of drivers, he's 11th on 32 points. Then we've got GT Jamie in the McLaren on 30 points. I Am Slow, the controller, 13th currently on 24 points, and then Tro is on 22, Fresh Jinx 21, Mariola is on 20 points, Kagatacos is in 17th on 18 points, and then we've got Kevin in the Ferrari. It's only his second race in, obviously he's replaced me with Michael Races on 14 points, and then Lurchies and Krishna on 19th and 20th on 0 points. Now Krishna cannot be with us this evening. I don't think he's particularly well, unfortunately, so he's not with us. But standing in his place, if we look down, we have got Kino DJ, who did sit in last week as a reserve as well. And if you remember, I think he qualified 5th and was running pretty well, and then he did the typical Ferrari thing into Pouillon, and the back end obviously went a bit light on him as he downchanged probably into 3rd, and that kind of ruined what he was trying to achieve. But we've got Kino back in as a reserve, and he was very, very keen to snap that up. So good luck to him tonight. 19 out of the 20 are currently in. We've got a couple of minutes left of free practice. So this is round 3 of the Taco Tuesday Championship. This is also season 3. And obviously this will take us again up to the update. So we're at Zolder, then we're going to go to Brands, Barca, Monza and Mazzano. So some pretty interesting tracks for these guys to get their teeth into. Obviously we will at some point need to do a track guide, which we'll probably do in qualifying, as we just keep our eye on Keno, on his progress. Obviously I don't speak a word of Belgian, so some of these corners are a little bit of a mouthful, so you will have to excuse me if I don't pronounce them correctly. I may just add a number in. So let's just run through the teams and who we've got lining up this evening. So PSR in the Audi is I Am Slow and GTJ 1982. The Ambitious in the Nissan is Will Friedman and Crazies. I think we need to keep an eye out for those tonight, because what I've seen in practice, though that Nissan does seem to be riding that chicane quite well on those curbs. Gabon Motorsport is Bruges and Raikkonen. Overdose Racing in the McLaren, we've got GT Jamie 141 and Lurch's Gaming. Taco Racing in the Porsche, we've got Euphoric State and Kaga Tacos. Fresh Sim Racing are in the Lexus, and that is Fresh Jinx and Fresh Nafbit. North-South Racing in the Ferraris, Michael Races and Kevin. And then we've got the AMR team in the Aston with Tro and Marek Mariola. Zingray Racing in the Merc, we've got Reedy LFC and IR Graham, our featured driver this evening. And CRT Black Cats in the Jag, we've got DeWill and Krishna. So that's who's going to be participating in the race. That's the championship standings. We've covered that. We can have a look at the team standings a bit later on, but why this keeps changing to a screen I don't want. There we go. Let's keep it like that. So, also, no one's going to want to miss out on this. So, Coops competition, as we're running every single time. Let's have a quick look at that. So, we're obviously at the Zolder, which is in Belgium. So Zolder isn't probably the most famous racer track in Belgium. That would be Spa. If you asked anyone, they'd probably say Spa, but Zolder is the oldest one. So here's the question. So in Belgium, obviously it's famous for its chocolates, famous for waffles, and famous for beer as well. But there is a very, very important building in Belgium. It's probably one of the world's most renowned security firms, and their HQ is in Belgium. Can you tell me the name of that security firm? Okay, so again, question. Belgium's famous for chocolates, waffles and beers. There's also some important buildings in Belgium, and one of the world's most important security firms has its HQ in Belgium. What is the name of that security firm? Okay. Drop the answers into the live chat. Again, whoever could give me the correct answer will of course win a free setup. Any car, any track will be all yours. Okay. Good. As free practice is coming to an end, we've got a couple of minutes left on the wait time. Let's move off that. And then we're going to move straight into qualifying. So format, if you're not aware, format is 15 minutes qualifying, and then we move into a full hour's race. And during that hour, there will be a mandatory stop. So there will be some form of strategy that comes into this in terms of fuelage, tyres. Are we going to run long? Are we going to go short? Are we going to go 50-50? All these things that you hear me regularly talking about are quite prominent here. IR Graham is our featured driver and championship leader, so he's not going to be wanting that commentator's curse tonight. I don't want to give that to him, but well, Hutch isn't in here, is he? So I can't really give it to anyone else. We're still waiting for one person to join. I'll have a look at who that is in a moment. But they need to get a shift on because we are in qualifying. So IR Graham is the first one out, so we will get on board with him. And hello to everybody in the live chat that's just joined. You haven't missed much. We've just been through at the end of free practice. We've had our driver chat, which was with IR Graham. That was a very interesting chat with him. He feels this is going to be a difficult one this evening. Doesn't feel that he's going to be running away with it at the top. But I dispute that. So anyway, as we come through the last two corners to start a flying lap in qualifying with IR Graham. As we're going to come up to Ernst, which is the first left-hand corner, down into third. We're going to try and hug, we're going to hug that curve, go as wide as we can onto the green stuff. Then we're going to aim for that little steward's house on the left-hand side. That's your braking marker, down to second, and then you're going to push it wide, then tuck it back into this curve. Go wide again. There's a little bit of asphalt on the left there. That's your braking zone. Drop it into third. You need to hold off there slightly and then push that power on. Try not to get on the gravel as we run up towards the Klein chicane, which everybody loves. 100 board just after, on the brakes hard, down into second, maybe first, depending on the car. You do need to take some of that first curve, but obviously not too much, otherwise it is just going to throw you straight in the air. As we're on our way down to Gilles Villeneuve again, a right-left chicane into first for this one. You can cut quite a lot there. He's invalidated that lap though, he's cut too much on the left one. So we keep it tight to this curve, we should be flat all the way through here. Then we're going to pull across to the left, again we're just going to brush the curve there. Just after the 100 metre board, hard on the brakes, going to train into this one, into first gear. And there's your apex on the power all the way. Again, hook this one left, try and straight line this as much as you can. As we come into the last part of the lap, just under the bridge, we're going to get on the anchors. Take quite a lot of curve there. You have to be a little bit patient on that part just there. Get on the power too early, it's going to push you wide. And Graham gets his first lap done, although it won't count. So let's just have a little listen to that Merc. On the brakes, down to second, turn her in, off the power, a little bit of gas. Now we're going to squeeze it on, push it out wide. Keep her turned right at all times. Nice pace there. Down with the brakes, down to third. Hold it. There's your apex. On we go. That was nice. See if we get this braking zone right for this one. The clean chicane. He's definitely a bit braver there. He's 5/10. He's half a second up on his last lap, so that worked well for him. Into Gilles Villeneuve. Just where the grey stuff ends, on the brakes. Cut, not too much. He's made sure he's done that right. Off the power, then straight back on the power again. Just come off the power enough on that right-hander just to get the car turned in, and it's a momentary lift. He's a second up. Let's get a good chicane, good hairpin. It's not really a hairpin, is it? But you know, as near as it can be in terms of slowing down for the corner. Brakes. Nice and greedy. Then he pushes the. There we go. Oh, it's going to be a good lap, this one. What are we going to have? We'll have a 29.1. Okay. So Graham, our featured driver, he goes provisional pole with a 1:29.1. Not a bad effort at all there. Let's have a look at those corner names. Yeah, I got that one right. Clean chicane, Gilles Villeneuve, yeah. Lucien Bianchi, yeah, I'd get that one right too. And then you've got Terraman Bocht. Yeah, don't know that one. And all the others which I can't pronounce. So we'll just talk about where they are on track. That's probably easier. Good. So just under 10 minutes left. So currently, IR Graham is in the lead. DeVille is in second place in the Jag. He's nearly 4/10 down. And then GTJ in the Audi. I've actually been watching him quite a bit in free practice. He's been doing very well. So I think he'd definitely be up there. Kino's doing a fantastic job there. Look at him in the Ferrari. As I say, he's a reserve. He stood in last week. I was impressed with him, hence the invite to come back this week. Excuse me, when I knew we were going to be a man down. So he's doing a good job in fourth. Riker choose a second off the pace. That won't be the case. He was leading the pack in free practice, and then we've got Nathbit, Will, GT Jamie, Crazies, and Kevin. So you do have quite a split there in terms of time. Graham's just improved. He's just done a 28.5, which puts him 6/10 up under Will now. Let's have a look at the track. So ambient is 16. and we've got 20 degrees on track, so it's pretty cool. I'm sure that's, you know, we do enough races on here. Setups are obviously always not a bone of contention, but setups are always wanted, needed. People are always messing about with those to try and find the ultimate one. And yeah, you know, brake ducts, they're going to play a part here, considering how cool it is. Are people dialing in those tyre pressures? That's going to be key for this one. But yeah, so the guys, I think pre-race, you know, everyone was a little bit, I'm not 100% sure if I like this track and all those bits, but I do think once they actually get into it, they're going to like it. So we're going to have a look at some different camera angles tonight, as you can see there. We're going to spend, I'm not going to say huge amounts of extra time in, but when we are looking at those battles, we will get in the car, we will be able to have a look what it's like for these guys driving. Yeah, we can do all of that, which is great, and we can have a good look from that view as well. So we'll keep all that fairly uniform so that we can just move between them. Michael's popped in a time. He's gone up to 3rd place at the moment and gone straight in the pits. But again, that's a second off the pace, which is quite a lot, really. That is quite a lot. Kino's actually just popped it into 3rd place, so he's having a nice one. Personally, as I say, I love this track, and I drive the Ferrari when I have been on this track. And I think apart from that chicane there, if you can get that bit right, the Ferrari works very, very well round here. Timmy Blunder, you know, my brother from another mother who is out in Abu Dhabi, probably won't be watching now, but will no doubt re-watch this tomorrow. RSR Timmy Blunder, he's like a wizard on this track. Ridiculous the times he can get on this track. It comes at a price, and that price is body weight in liquid loss. Yeah, DeWill's doing well in that Jag. I've been impressed with him the last 2 races in the Jag. And again, we've got such a nice, you know, we've got different field, different people, you know, different cars across the field. It really adds to each event. You know, it's not going to be a walk in the park for 17 Bentleys and 3 Mercs. So that's always a good thing. So we've got 5 minutes left. Not much change at the moment. So Raikkochu's put himself back up to 2nd. That's expected. So DeWill's 3rd. Nafbit's actually moved up to 4. So the track has now gone fast. You can see we do have some rubber going down. You can see those lines on the track. So the track will be gripping up. And if people are smart and kind of let the others basically run, then they'll be able to get the benefit of that in terms of their own lap time. Just going to, whilst we're having a look at Raikkochu on his quick lap, I'm just going to have a quick look at who's missing. So I am slows in. Where's Bruges? Bruges is in. Yeah, Bruges is in. Tro's in. GT Jamie. Kevin's in. DeWill's in. Michael's in. Slows in. Riker's in. Crazy's. Lurchies. Nafbit. He's in. DeWill's in. Graham's in. Marek's in. Graham's in. Where's Kagatakos? Yeah, he's in. Tro's in. Kino's in. Michael's in. Jinx, yeah, Fresh Jinx is in as well. Reedy's in, yeah, Reedy is in. It's distracting me, that is. We'll find that out later on. I don't want to miss too much of the action, see? So. Right, so Graham is still with that 28.5 or 28.6 is still in pole. He is out on track. DeWill, he's improved and got himself up to 2nd, so he's almost 3 tenths down. Raikkochu's in 3rd. Then Nathbit is in 4th in the Lexus. So you look at those, top 4 cars, and you would say they're all pretty strong in a straight line. Then Michael at the moment in the Ferrari is doing a sterling job. He's 6.5 tenths back. I know he's still getting used to her, which is fine. GTJ is in 6th at the moment. Kino's 7th. He's putting in the pits. Maybe going to make a little change and come out for one more flyer. And then Will in the Nissan is 8th. So I did think that we'd have to keep our eye out for those Nissans. From what I was watching earlier on, Trove's currently at the back with I am slow. But you know, you're saying I'm at the back. You know, we're talking 2.5 seconds. So that's what. That's a 131 flat, which you know is not slow. It's not slow at all still. So, as we've said before, there are no slow drivers in this tier, and IR Graham was saying the same thing earlier on today. You know, that it's an unbelievable lobby in terms of the competition and pace. And we're all very privileged to see these guys do battle for us every week. And I'm even more lucky because I get to watch these guys do battle multiple times a week. Obviously, slight different variations of who's racing and the vehicles, but you know, they're committed, you can't deny that. So, Marek in the Aston is currently in 11th. I'm sure he would love to get that into the top 10. He's coming around there, 28. Right, Michael's coming around to complete a lap. He's just taking it a little bit there. Watch that curve, Michael, and he does. So he's a 10.5 up at the moment on that lap. So we've got 5 in the live chat, and who's just dropped a message in as he goes into Gilles Villeneuve, cuts that nicely, doesn't take too much off the pallet, and straight back on again. Up change to 2nd. Priestley's in. Such a stacked group. Best of luck. Yes, Georgie, it is. It is absolutely amazing. Hope your day is going well at work, George. I'm sure we'll try and ease that pain for you, mate. Hard on the brakes. You see, if you're looking at the inputs here, we're still trailing in there. He's 3 tenths up. This could be worth maybe 3rd. He does. He puts himself up to 3rd. He's got another lap in him. If you've got anything left, Michael, now you've got to push it. Let's stay on. Michael's had pole position in, I think, his last 3 races. And he's not going to get it now because I just said that. Sorry. Katie Gleason. Hello, Katie. Katie says, go on. Katie, I'm very pleased that you're watching. Are you watching anyone in particular? Are you associated with FRL? Do you know any of the drivers? Do you drive? Talk to us. Let's know what's going on. So Graham is still pole on a 28.5. DeWill still 2nd place. Michael with that lap before he, well, I won't say threw it off. DeWill's just gone through. I think we'll have to stay on DeWill. Where's Riker? He's got to be out on another lap as well. Has he got through? Riker Chu? No, he hasn't got through. Okay. And DeWill pulls off anyway. Right, let's see what Riker Chu, is he able to take that pole position away? Well, he is up, but he's not up by enough. He needs about 4 tenths. Let's see. Okay, that was nice through there. That was committed. There wasn't too much of an issue there. You can see in the rear mirror there, you got GTJ. Well, you got a Lexus behind him. That's probably Nathbit. As he goes through Gilles Villeneuve, gets that turned in nicely off the power, straight back on the power, and he's pulled over. That he was up as well on that lap. Surprised he did that. Maybe he knew he didn't have enough fuel left, but there we go. It looks like that's going to be the grid for this evening. Let's just take a little photo of that for the guys. So Graham is currently in pole position with DeWill on the front row. And then we've got Michael and Raikochu on the second row. Again, just listen to these names. You know these guys are all absolutely rapid. GTJ 1982 and Bruges on the third row. Nafbit and Kino, good effort by those two on the fourth row. Reedy and Kagatakos on the fifth row. They make up your top 10. And then we've got Will Friedman. Kagatakos really popped himself up there. Kagatakos and Will Friedman 11th and 12th. Then Marek, Fresh Jinx in 14th. Crazy's 15th. GT Jamie in the McLaren in 16th. Lurchy's just behind him, his teammate in the McLaren 17th. Then we've got I Am Slow and Tro. Bring up the rear of the grid. Now, I know GT Jamie was not particularly happy with how his McLaren was handling in the run-up to the race. So that would probably be correct in terms of that qualifying performance, but he's got 60 minutes to put together a strategy and make some tweaks to that setup so that he can be more effective. A little bit of coffee there, keep you going. So IR Graham is in pole position. You will have all heard as the featured driver in our interview, he didn't think he was going to be up right at the top tonight. He thought he was going to be mid-pack, but he has shown he's just rapid in that Merc. Everywhere we go, he's rapid in that Merc. And fair play to him. So he's probably having a quick nicotine break, although I don't think he'll have enough time for that. So we will have a full formation lap as always. Now remember guys, we had Coops competition earlier. No one's given me an answer yet. So for everybody that is listening, here is the question. Belgium is obviously famous for its chocolates, but it's also famous for waffles and beers. Now in Belgium, there are some pretty famous buildings, and one of these buildings houses one of the world's most prominent security firms. Can you tell me the name of the security firm with its headquarters in Belgium? Again, it's a free setup on offer, any track, any condition, okay, any car, completely free. We get a winner, well, we don't always get a winner, but generally speaking, we have a winner every week, and they're more than happy with what they get. So, come on, people, let me know. So 2 minutes to go. Last tweaks going on with those setups. How is that going to pan out this evening? You know, Zolder as a track, it's tight, it's twisty. There's no real huge straights. So it's not like Paul Ricard where you can just, you know, if you're in a car with a huge amount of top end speed, you can just take advantage there. It's twisty, it's tight. Some have got pretty nasty curbs on those chicanes. Anything's going to happen in this one. So let's just see. Traction. Good evening, sir. Yeah, he says evening, fine gentlemen and women. Just drop a message in. Hopefully he's enjoying work this evening, halfway through his week. Well, more than. No, halfway through his week. Traction. I'm not going to repeat the question right now for Coops competition. No one's won it yet. If you do stay tuned, I will put it out a little bit later on. Okay. And we'll see if we can give you an opportunity to win another setup, because you won last week, didn't you, with Georgie Priest? You both gave the same correct answer at exactly the same time. Let's run through again. So we've got Merc, Jag, Ferrari, Bentley is your top four. And then we've got Audi, Bentley, Lexus, Ferrari, Ferrari, Merc, Porsche, Nissan. And then we've got Aston, Lexus, Nissan, the two McLarens, Audi and Aston. So
20 seconds.
It's just fantastic, isn't it? Just in time for the action. Yeah, that's right.
10 seconds.
Well, not necessarily traction, because I think everyone's kind of boycotted Tuesday at the moment tonight. So as we get underway then for our formation lap, they're still waiting. There we go. Graham gets us underway. I believe this will be a guided one this evening. And make sure everybody behaves themselves. So we're going to be on with Raikochu for the start of this one. Let's go, Helicam. Raikkonen has not moved yet. Hopefully he doesn't have a steering wheel issue there if he's got his vehicle on manual start. Come on, Raikkonen. Well, we'll have to... And I'm stuck on him. Go! Go! Quick! Somebody push him! There we go. There we go. He's off. Right, you better catch up now, but don't warm your tyres up too much doing it, Raikkonen. What's going on there? Okay, that's not, and he's gone into the pits. Okay, so there's obviously a problem with Raikkonen there. It may be to do with pedals, maybe to do with steering wheel. We can see all those beautiful cars coming down at the back there. But we can't be with them, unfortunately, because we chose Raikkonen, who was in 4th place, to start the race. So what we're going to have to do is watch them all flash by, this left-hander, and then I'll change as quickly as I can. But on the plus side, we do get to hear the beautiful symphony of all those GT3 cars in the background as they all go away. Zolder is conspiring against me tonight, I feel, ladies and gentlemen. But never fear. Also, if you're interested, Coventry are currently 0-0 with Stoke at the CBS Arena. Obviously, that is the most important thing of the evening and score. And as usual, we've been better than them and not taking our chances. Commentators curse as per usual. Yes, Traction. I think you're right there, mate. Although I did the same with Graham in qualifying when I did with Chica on Sunday. I went on to him for a do a lap guide and he put it on pole. So that wasn't too bad. So we're just waiting for them to come round the back of the track. Obviously they're going to be all backed up. They're going to be warming up those tyres and brakes, not trying to put too much heat into the brakes. Don't want them fading. And if we keep our eye on the mini-map on the left and use those things at the side of our head called ears, we will hear and see when they come down. Yeah, Georgian Traction, you talk between yourselves, guys. Right, as you two were the winners last week, here's the question again before they come round. Belgium is famous for its chocolates, waffles and beers. It has some pretty important buildings in Belgium, and there's a very, very prominent security firm. And here we go. I'll tell you that later on, guys. Okay. So Graham's got away clean by the look of that, and then Michael's got up to 2nd. Then you got DeWitt. Okay, so there has been a change. That's interesting. Let's go with Bruges. No, Bruges in the pits. As they all file through there. Let's just keep an eye on that one. Oh, we've had someone go off there in a Porsche. And he's come on. There looks like there's contact. Oh, there's a spin and there's contact at the back. So we've got Audi, Porsche, McLaren. So that's... Ooh, maybe Lurchie's was involved in that. And Raikkonen's coming up at the back, so hopefully he won't get himself caught up in that. But at the front, Graham and Michael are scampering away as they did the other week. So we can see that there's a 1 second gap between them at the moment. Let's move that down there. DeWill's still in 3rd, but then GT Jamie's in 4th, Bruges 5th, Nafbit in 6th, Kevin 7th, Kino's doing a good job there, still in 8th place. So who had that not? That would have been Kagatacos, and someone's letting that Audi Sport go for it. Alright. So we've got a slow runner, that's Lurchies, so he's obviously had some contact. GT Jamie is in 17th, I am slows in 18th, and Raikkonen is currently in 19th place. So, let's go on board with Bruges. And let's have a look at what's going on there. So, no one on the inside. So he's currently got himself... He's right on the inside. If you keep an eye on those mirrors, we'll just see what the rest of the pack is doing. Oh, a bit of oversteer there. You saw that overcorrection. He's going to be keeping his eye on those mirrors. See if anyone's going to dive down the inside of him. Hard on the brakes. You see how much DeWitt closes up, and Nafbit is right on his tail as well. to go up the hill. That was a nice shot, that was. Let's just see how much they close up under braking. Leading that train. All whilst trying to catch GTJ in front. So, I've got to say, that Bentley, she looks a little bit skittish, which is not what you would expect from the Bentley. So Graham's out up front. He's got himself a second gap at the moment to Michael. GTJ, who is in front of us at the moment, in third. We're on board of Bruges. Then De Wil is only half second behind. You can see his mirrors are full of that copper jag. And the Nash bit in sixth, Kevin seventh, Kino DJ eighth. Crazies has got himself up to ninth. Yeah, that doesn't look too happy. I think his tyres aren't up to pressure. Let's have a look from De Wil as he chases him down. Where's Nafbit? So he's fallen off a tad. Since that engine on that Jag, man, she just sounds so angry. She's always in such a rush. So Marek has got himself into the top 10. Probably my favourite car, the Aston. Not because it's called Martin, but I love the sound of her and how she drives. So Fresh Jinx is in 11th. See how she takes those curves. Not too bad. Reedy's in 12th in the Merc. Will Friedman is 13th. Kagatako's 14th. Tro's in 15th. GT Jamie 16th. And Raikkonen, I Am Slow and Lurchies have all elected to get their pit stop out of the way, probably due to damage and other issues. Raikkonen's obviously pitted because he started from the pits and thought it would be a good idea to get that pit stop out of the way. So Graham is now currently behind Raikkonen, which is not going to help Raikkonen's race because obviously he's going to have to start getting out of the way for blue flags, which is unfortunate. But you can see the pack is all still close together. We're going, but let's have a look at Nafbit. He's only 3/10 now. In fact, you can see in front Bruges looks like he's actually closed up on De Wil there. And then you've got Kevin just behind Nafbit and Kino. They're having a good battle in the Ferraris. In fact, Kino is only 2/10 off. So let's have a look at Kino. And obviously they on board with Kino, chasing down Kevin. And then you've got Nafbit in front in the Lexus. This could be interesting. If there's any mistakes in front, Kino, he can capitalise on that. Let's see if he does. The little mistake by Kevin there, just on the grass slightly. A little bit of a jump over that curb and see with that Ferrari, she's so finely balanced. That curb really upset her then. You saw that he was very lucky not to throw it off circuit, so well held. Looks like Nafbit's taking a bit of dirt there as well. So these boys already, we're 3-4 laps in, they're already going to be feeling this, yeah. And it won't stop. There will be no let off from this pace until the end of this race. They'll come filing through. Oh, there looks like a challenge coming through there. Who was that? That was Reedy. I love it the way the camera doesn't always change over as it should do. Let's go on board with Kaga. See what he's looking like. Oh, Reedy went a little bit wide there. Kaga got a very good run out there. He should definitely get up the inside. Let's see if they give each other space. He's taking the inside line. That was good driving. Reedy did the right thing there. So Kaga manages to push on. Again, you just hear the different notes. Let's keep an eye on that battle behind, as well as watching some excellent driving. Brutal. It is brutal. Look how close everybody is. Look at this. We're in Tier 1. We've got 20 drivers in Tier 1 and they're just nose to tail. There's going to be battles all over the place. Let's have a look at the splits again. Graham is still in first place. Michael is currently only 6/10 off him. Again, is a gap back to GTT back of the second. DeWill is still in fourth. Bruges in fifth. In fact, so they've swapped places. Nafbit is in sixth. Kevin is still having that battle with him, with Keno holding eighth. Crazies has now got himself up to ninth place. So well done, Crazies. We'll have a look at him. Marek's holding 10th, Fresh Drinks 11th, Kagatacos has moved up to 12th, so he's had a good run so far. Reedy in the other Merc is 13th, and then you've got Will in the Nissan 14th. That isn't like him. Will's normally much higher up the grid than that, so maybe that's a setup issue. Don't know what that is. Tro is in 15th at the moment in the Aston, and GT Jamie 141 is in 16th in the McLaren. And then we've got Raikkonen, I Am Slow and Lurchies at the bottom three, but have all pitted. And Raikkonen, having stuck an excellent qualifying in, it had an issue on the start, couldn't get the car going, so I had to start from the pit lane. But we'll see. So let's have a look at this Nissan and see how she handles those curbs whilst chasing down these two Ferraris. Now, Crazy's wanted to jump on board and actually do the featured driver this evening, as he's getting pretty close to some, wow, really epic stats, which I won't talk about now. We'll wait until he crosses that line, and then we'll do a Coops Corner feature on that one. But he's not where he wants to be at the moment, in ninth. So he'll just be feeling his way into that Nissan, how she behaves, and he'll be hoping that those two very twitchy, very lively Ferraris get into a battle and maybe make a mistake. As you can see, they're taking different lines up front. They're trying to put each other off. They're trying to look for that option to set up a move. It's not an easy track to pass on, because it is it's a short track and it's twisty. So it's not an easy track to pass on, which is where the racecraft of these Tier 1 boys is going to be very important. So top four is still the same. Graham's pulled 5/6 on Michael there, so he's extended that lead out. GTJ and DeWill, they're pretty much the same. Bruges is still in 5th. Nafbit, and then we've got the two in front, Kevin and Keno, and Crazies, who we're currently on board with, in 9th. Marek in 10th. So that's where your cutoff is. Easy, Crazies. That's where your cutoff is, really. Marek's a few seconds behind, and then that part of the field is fairly close as well. So you've almost got two races. Now, there's been an issue here, because Michael has dropped another second to Graham, so either Graham's just finding his way now and getting comfortable, or Michael's made a mistake. I'm thinking it's the latter, because that has allowed GTJ, and there's another mistake for Michael. I think his tyres are done. That's really unfortunate. It looks like Michael's being attacked. You could just see it in the rear view mirror there. Michael's being attacked by DeWill. Let's try and get on board that one before it goes away. Here we go then. So DeWill all over the back of Michael as we're coming up to, well, and it's the clean chicane. But you can see in the radar, there that well, DeWill's got company too. So good luck, boys. Let's keep a check of those mirrors. No one's coming down there. Look how close these are. Ridiculous. And look how close Bruges is. He going to be able to make a move into this tight left-hander? He thought about it. See, the problem is with that one is, there is only one braking marker there. You can't really modulate too much and try and maybe push it a little bit more, or try and pinch a bit. You can't there. So again, it is difficult unless you've got overspeed from a mistake coming out of the previous two corners. It's difficult to get by there, as all three put themselves in a pretty decent position. You can see the steering inputs there of DeWill, nice and smooth. Just keeping an eye on that Ferrari in front. Down with the brakes, turn her in. It's all good. So Michael seems to have settled down now. Interesting to feel like second place through there. Is that second gear through there? Most people just drop it to third. As you can see, Bruges closing right up there and the braking zone to be expected. Into Gilles Villeneuve, the right-left chicane, which you could cut a hell of a lot of actually. Then straight on the power, up into second. Okay, so these three, after those fun and games, they do seem to have settled down. Although you just never know, because it now looks like he's about to try and make another move. Look at that, top 3, 4 and 5 all next to each other. You just don't want to come away from it, do you? But there's so many other tight battles. Look at the timings down on the left, 6 tenths, 6 tenths, 6 tenths. It's crazy, and we've missed a drive through there because we were too busy enjoying that. So who was at 94? So Lurches has had a drive through, must be track limits. And as you can see, that looked like Kino. Don't know what's going on with the cameras on this tonight. So Michael's coming up now to put a lap on Lurches probably after that drive through. Lurches should just, that was very close as Lurches tries to move out the way. DeWill probably gets in his way because that's the racing line, but there you go. Let's have a look at Michael's steering inputs there. He knows that she's twitchy there. And Bruges, you can see in the background, Bruges is coming up to the back of Lurches. Bruges wants that inside line, of course he does. Oh, and Bruges has ended up cutting the track. It's going to go off there. To be honest, I think if that was Lurches, and I haven't checked, so I will go and check that now. If that is Lurches, he should really be getting out of the way there. He's been getting blue flags. Can I see the number as he comes through? No, it didn't show me. Okay. Right, so Graham is now, he's out there, he's doing his thing. He's got a 4.3 second lead over GTJ, which I'm not going to say much about, but that's doing pretty good. Michael's now 1.4 behind in third place. He has moved away from DeWill, I say, seems to have settled himself down. Then we've got Bruges in the Bentley. Nafbit Crazies is now up to 7th. And so is Will Friedman. That's very interesting. A few laps ago, Will was down in like 13th, wasn't he? If you remember me saying that, he was way out of position. And Kevin and Kino were 7th and 8th. So they've dropped down the order. They were right next to each other, so maybe they had a coming together, which is unfortunate. Just change this camera angle again. I'm not going to come away from that angle, because at least we've got the races. So Kevin's ended up down in 9th, Fresh Cheeks in 10th, Kino right behind him in 11th place. And then GT Jamie in 12th. Again, we're talking a few tenths between each of these guys, which is just allowing those battles to build. Tro and Kagatakos, they look like they've just had a nice little battle. We'll have a look at that one at the moment, see if Kaga can take that one back from Tro. And then Reedy is another 6 seconds down the road in the Merc. So Reedy's not having a great day at the moment. Let's be honest. I mean, his teammate in the Merc is first. He's down in 15th. Marek was sort of 10th, and in the Aston, he's obviously jumped in for his pit stop, so he's down in 16th at the moment. Then Raikachu, I Am Slow, and Lurches have all done their pit stop and are all running at the back currently. So no change there, whilst we keep an eye on this battle. So Michael's still third, DeWill. Okay, so these boys in the top 6 are now gapping each other. And then there's a big gap back to Crazies from Nathbit. So Crazies in 7th, he's got a lot of work to do. But then as we move up, Kino this battle, there's two battles at the moment which are key, as Marek very, very nicely waits at the end of the pit lane there. If he'd have come flying out into those three, that would have caused quite a few issues. So we will keep an eye on Tro and Kaga as well, but this is the battle as we go on board. As he's gonna be brave. He's got the inside line. Who? Fresh Jinx moved across right at the last minute there. Don't know if that was particularly sporting. We'll have to see if anyone complains about that afterwards. I thought that was a bit questionable, to be fair, because Kino was definitely up alongside him, if not level, at one point in that run. So Kino is now defending. He's only got just over a tenth back to GT Jamie 141 in the McLaren. So even though these boys are saying, you know, they're not, you know, they might not be enjoying the track, look at the racing they're having. Tro's caught right up onto the back of them as well, by the look of it, unless that's the rest. Oh, that's Marek who just come out of the pits. Sorry, beg my pardon. So they're still right on it. Let's move back and see from an attacking point of view. Kino was really, really keen to get back involved today. Had a good chat with him last week after the race. I don't think he got too much practice in last week, so again that was a great showing from him. And you know, now he's having to do the work, absolutely scrapping for his life, as is Jinx in front, as is GT Jamie behind, and this is for 10th, 11th and 12th. You've got to make him look at that. Keep an eye on those mirrors. No, he backs out of that. It's probably the wise thing to do there. He's going to be keeping his eye in those mirrors on the right hand side as he comes down into Gilles Villeneuve. Blue flags are waving. I'm not too sure why that is. Nothing going on there. Tight. What can you say? What more do you want? What more do you want? You're 20 minutes into a race and we've got some really good battles going on there. At the front, just to keep an eye on everything, Graham is still out in the lead. He's our featured driver for this evening. He's got a 4.8 second lead over GTJ in the Audi. Michael is currently holding on to third place in a podium. DeWill's in fourth. Again, those gaps they have grown by about a tenth and a half, and GT Jamie goes flying into the pits there. So as you can see, into the pit lane. Get that slowed down, mate. Bruges is in 5th place, Mathbit is in 6th, and then Crazy's up to 7th, so he's doing extremely well to get up there. Will at the moment, I mean, that's absolutely stonking, as you can see. Kino going through the first turn, he's taken different lines on Fresh Jinx. He's trying to get him out of position. Kevin is in 9th place in the Ferrari. He's doing a great job. And then we've got this battle in front of us here. Fresh Jinx in the Lexus versus Kino DJ in the Ferrari. Remember, Kino is a reserve sitting in for us this evening. He sat in last week as well, and he did very well. And this is what happened in the last lap, although Kino decides he's not going to try and pull alongside this time, try and take a better line through there. The Lexus does handle those curves probably quite a bit better than the Ferrari. Kagatako's in the Porsche is in 12th, so he's moved up the grid nicely. Tro in the Aston is 13th. We've got a drive-through for Fresh Jinx there, you saw that. So he's obviously cut that track a few times. Kino, if he's keeping an eye on his MFD, he'll see that and think, okay, I'm just going to keep tight. I don't have to push too hard, because this chap will be getting out of my way and has 3 laps to do that. Back to the standings, Reedy's currently in 14th in the Merc. Then we've got GT Jamie, who's in the pit, so he had a drive-through. Or in fact, I'm sure he just went in the pit, so he's got a drive-through on the way out as Fresh Jinx goes in to serve his drive-through. That's going to give Kino some free air and a top 10 place. And then I Am Slow, Marek and Lurchies are your other guys who've completed their stops. And someone's left. So that's GT Jamie. GT Jamie 141 has left the server. So, and he just got a drive through. So if that's potentially a rage quit. Hopefully not, but because there'll be a penalty if it is. So we'll keep an eye on that, see what happens. So we'll note that one for later on. So Kino's got some free air now. Come on, Kino. You need... Oh, Kino, what have I done? I'm so sorry, mate. That was a nice 360. But anyway, back to the front. Graham, our featured driver. Every time, peeps. It's ridiculous. Katie's like, yes, Kino. Yes, Kino. I'm sure that you're maybe involved with him. Graham at the front, he's just holding that gap, really. 4.5 seconds. Michael, again, he's probably dropped a couple of tenths on there. DeWill still in 4th. Bruges 5th. Lafbit 6th. So... in terms of close battles, everyone's gapped. You'd have to say now that Kino is the quickest guy on the track. Look how much he's caught up with Kagatakos. Didn't bother braking, and we know why, because he's now going in for his pit stop, which is probably a smart move, because the two in front, they've still got to come in and do theirs. So if he gets a decent stop done there, he can get out into some free air and hopefully make those tyres work. So Kino is in the pits. He's having a great run so far. Kevin in 8th. Again, I've been impressed with Kevin. You know, he came and sat in last week in the newly named North-South Racing with Michael. And he's proven himself to be a consistent, quick driver. Kaga's doing pretty well, isn't he? He started way down at the back and he's got himself up to 9th. Excuse me there, folks. It's a bit of a sneeze. Yeah, so Kaka's doing really well. Got himself up to 9th. Tro, Reedy, they're all just... obviously, they're working their way up because of pit stops as well. But they've got to be showing that consistent pace. If they don't have the pace, they're not going to be able to take advantage of that. And Reedy and Tro is your closest battle. So let's go and have a look, shall we? We'll go on board the Merc. And we'll see how these two boys get on. And in front of them you can see Kangatakos was just up there in the Porsche with Kevin. We're going to get a move. So it's it's so difficult to overtake here. The best option you've got, go on, push it right, nice. He's gone around the outside of him. Really, that was a great move. I think Tro might have had some tyre issues there, or maybe he was just being a little bit too polite. But yeah, really definitely got a better drive out of them. Well, to the extent he was able to drive completely around the outside. I was just about to say how difficult it is to actually overtake here unless you can manoeuvre yourself to put the other guy in a position where he's going to make a mistake. But it doesn't look... Well, we'll see if Tro can come back at him. We've got... It's only 3/10. Who knows? Keep an eye on that one. That is probably... Okay, so DeWill has closed up on Michael. That's almost at the 1 second mark. That could be an interesting one to keep a hold of. Kaga's now put it into the pits. Kino. Oh, Kino. Kino, what have you done? Oh dear. So Kino's done his pit stop. But he's come out and it's saying he needs to do a pit stop. And then Kagatakos has got to stop and go. So Kaga's been speeding in the pit lane. It's so easy to do that. If you do manual stops and you accidentally just flick it to second gear by accident, when you're trying to flaff around with all your other buttons and make sure make sure everything's as it should be before you're coming out the pit lane. It's very easy to do that. So Kaga's got himself a stop go, which is unfortunate. I believe what's happened with Kino is if he's come in and stopped, has he changed tyres? Did he put any fuel in? You know, you've got to meet certain parameters, so unless there's a bug on there, but we shall see what happens. If that is the case, that's unfortunate, Kino, because obviously everyone else that's not too far in front of you, they're all going to drop it in the pit soon, and instead of you taking advantage, you're going to have to pit again. So Will is just coming out the pits from 8th, so Reedy's just going to come through. There he goes. So he's got to make his way out the pits. DeWill is now very close, but Michael, as you can see on the right hand side there, Michael's come in for his pit stop. So he's gone for a 50-50. We've got an optimal track now with a 17 degrees ambient temperature and 22 on the grey stuff. So, I mean, it is all about fast laps. They're all asking for fast laps. It's not going to stress the cars out, or the engines, or the tyres. So they should be pumping him some quick times here. Nafbit from Team Fresh, he comes into the pits from 6th as well. So that's going to promote, potentially, a couple of others. And all the while, Graham is up front now. Who's that on Graham? Is that Raikkonen? Must be Raikkonen. Trying to unlap himself, yeah. So Graham has got two choices here. Let him go, because it's not for position, or fight with him and mess up your tyres. So I'm sure Raikkonen's hoping he just lets him go. We'll see. Let's have a quick look on live chat, see what's going on there. Hope Katie had her eyes closed there. Yes, I know, Traction. Yeah, that wasn't great timing, was it? I think, to be fair, Traction, I think it's your fault. Yeah, because every time you come on and say, I'm going to do a commentator's curse, it happens. So we've got two coming out of the pits. So Kaga's done his stop-go. Nafbit, he's just picked up a stop-go for speeding in the pit lane. Granted, he's probably thinking I might be able to get out ahead of Michael. But it's, boys, come on, man. Pit lanes, you know you're going to get big penalties for making those mistakes. So that's going to ruin his race, unfortunately. GTJ 1982, he's come in to serve his pit stop from 3rd. Keno. Feeling for that guy. So Bruges finds himself up in 2nd place. Now Bruges has been running quite comfortably, sort of 4th, 5th, but he's been plugging away, and he has actually at some point got past De Wil there. So De Wil's in 3rd in the Jag. He's only 1.5 seconds behind. So GTJ in the pits. Michael is, no, Kevin's just leaving the pits. Michael's already out. As Kevin comes in, sorry. So we'll see where everybody, as those two fly in there. What was that on the McLaren, wasn't it? Lurchies is still racing. And so Graham, our leader, comes in for his pit stop. Watch that wall, Graham. Blimey. Let's hope you got that stopped in time, because not everyone else has at the moment. So Bruges takes the lead of the race, with De Wil very close behind. Bruges, he decides he's going to come in and do his pit stop exactly on 50% mark on the race, and De Wil says, nah, I'm going to keep going then. Here's my chance, some clean air, I'm going to push and see how far we go. So Kevin's in the pits, Graham's in the pits, Bruges is in the pits. Reedy ends up back up to 4th place in the sister Merc, with Tro in the Aston not too far behind him. So those guys are yet to pit, and then Fresh Jinx hasn't pitted, and nor has Keno, apparently. So right, Michael's got to be the interesting one, because he's going to want to be getting out of those two. So Graham just sat there, shouting at his pit crew, hurry up boys, put the fuel in, get the tyres done, I've got some races to win. Georgie Priest, I've got to go, Coop, love the comms as always, best of luck. Okay Georgie, you have a great day mate, enjoy work if you can. I'll see you on Sunday for the next live comms, but no doubt we'll chat tomorrow. So Graham is out of those pits, and he's got nothing to worry about. Bruges is just making his way out of the pits. So De Wil, he's trying to run off now. He's trying to get as much space as he can between these guys so that he can come and get his pit stop done. Puts Michael quite a long way back. So if we look at the mini-map, Graham's coming up to the chicane there, and then you've got Bruges, those two. So Michael's got a bit of work to do. He's going to be in 3rd place, but if he wants to be actually no, Michael will end up being 2nd, so he's doing quite well on that pit stop. Depends on what De Wil's going to do. De Wil is in the pits now, so this is where it's getting interesting. Got to blame someone, Traction. Excuse the typing there. Right, so De Wil's in the pits. Fresh Jinx, he looks like he's serving his. Keno hasn't come in yet. Keno's going to end up. Oh, what's he going to do? When's he going to pit? It's a real shame. Right, DeWill, when are you going to move? So Graham, there you go. Graham retakes the lead. You can see DeWill sat in the pit lane there. He goes through turn 1. Michael's going to go through into net second place, if you like. You can see DeWill is still sat there. Then we're going to go to Bruges, because essentially Bruges and DeWill, they were having their fight. As you can see, Tro going into the pits there in the Aston. So you can see at the top of the screen, you could see there DeWill coming out the pits. So Bruges takes that position back. DeWill's just coming out the pitch, just behind him there, and he's got cold tyres. Raikkonen, Bruges' teammate, goes up the inside, so that is going to affect DeWill because he's going to get past him, and he's probably not just going to jump out of the way. Reedy's in second place. His tyres look pretty interesting by the lines he was taking through there, so he's due a pit stop, as you could probably tell. But Graham is currently clear out in front. He's got a 7-second gap back to Michael, and GT has got himself a drive through. That's going to be track limits. It looks like it's that Gilles Villeneuve chicane. It's so easy with those little red sausage curves. It's so easy just to take a little bit extra. And who's that off there? And there was a little touch there. Oh dear, oh dear, dear, oh dear, ouch. And GTJ ends up having a bit of an issue there with one of the Lexus vehicles with Fresh Jinx. Now I thought Fresh Jinx, as he was coming back on, maybe should have kept himself over to the left a little bit more. So was that an unsafe re-entry? Again, I don't know. We'll have to see after the race on that one. Reedy's in the pits. GTJ is coming in the pits to serve his drive through. Looks like he's going pretty fast there. They're having their own little race. Anyway, that'll be fun. So Graham's now nearly built a 10-second lead back to Michael. Don't think he's going to be doing much about that, if I'm honest with you. And then you've got Reedy and GTJ are both in the pit, so Bruges could be looking at a podium, which would be pretty handy. DeWill's only a second behind. Okay, sorry. Raikkonen, I totally forgot, pretty much pitted on lap 1 because he had that issue at the start of the race where he couldn't actually get going, so started from the pits. As you see, Bruges throw it off there at those infamous curves, and that puts both Raikkonen and DeWill ahead of him. So Raikkonen is in 4th place on merit. Yeah, so he's not a lap down. He did his pit stop and he's been battling for 35 minutes. He is actually in 4th place. But are those tyres going to last until the end of the race? Because there's no doubt he'll have been giving them quite a bit of punishment. So DeWill's trying to put the pressure on him, which is good to see. And then Bruges, unfortunately, is back into 5th. Crazies has got himself up to 6th place in the Nissan with his teammate Will. So again, the Nissan, just from watching the different series, the Nissan seems good on race pace, and I know if you ask Gamer Dad or if he was in here, he would be saying that. She is very good on race pace, consistent. Those two are doing extremely well to be up there from where they qualified. Kevin is in 8th place, so he's having a solid run at the moment. That's pretty much where he's been the whole race. Is he going to be my new Hutch? Is he going to be Mr. Number 8 instead of Hutch being number 7 on GT3 Sundays? And then Keno's got himself back up to 9th. Now, I don't know what's happened with that pit stop because it hasn't counted. But if it had counted, he'd be in 9th, getting that battle back on with Kevin, which they've been having all race long. So that's actually, it's a shame, that one. I am slow in 10th currently. I've got a big gap back to Marek. Big gap back to Marek in 11th, and then Tro in the Aston is in 12th. He's a further 6 seconds down. Nathbit in the Lexus is another 11 seconds back, and then we've got 3.5 to Reedy, just over 3 to Fresh Jinx, and then Kagatako's. Well, Kagatako's, I'm not sure what's happened there with him because he'd fought his way up to 9th, and he was doing really well. So if he's had any offs. GTJ 1982 is in the pits doing his drive through. No, Well, he's not, is he? Because I've just said he's doing a drive-through. And if he's sat there in the pits, he's not driving through anything. So, it looks like GTJ's probably got a bit annoyed and gone to sat in the pits. At least he hasn't rage quit, so maybe he could do some changes to the car, although you can't on a drive-through. And then there's Lurches, is 3 laps down at the moment, but in 18th and still going. So go on, Lurches, keep at it, buddy. As we go back to the front, closest battle on track we've got is De Wil and Raikkonen. So let's do the honourable thing and let's have a little look at it. See how these two can battle each other. Yeah, Graham is dominant traction. He is dominant. When I had a chat with him earlier on, really lively. You know, he's only young. He's only 30 something. And no, he seems like a good guy. So he's doing what I thought he would do. He didn't think he would do this today. You can't deny his pace. Graham's always quick, always quick. So we're almost 2/3 of the way through this race. Everybody has completed their mandatory pit stop apart from Kino, unfortunately. Again, we will find out what happened there. He was having a fantastic race up until that point, so he will be disappointed. But you know, the two tastes he's had of Taco Tuesdays, he'll be wanting more. There's no doubt about that, because he's obviously competitive. As De Wil in the Jag, chasing down Raikkonen in the Bentley. Now Raikkonen, you know, he's appeared on the scene in the last sort of few weeks, and he's proven everywhere, each championship that he's taken part in, that he belongs at the sharp end of the grid. He's extremely quick, especially in the Bentley. He has taken on the Ferrari for a Sunday, but in that Bentley he's rapid. He qualified up the top, and if it wasn't for that issue at the start, where he ended up starting from the pit lane, it could be very much be him and Graham having a battle at the front, but it's not, and he's only in third. He's only managed to get from last to third, so he's got 20 minutes yet. Otherwise, you know, he won't get that last to first challenge that everyone on GT Sport loves to do over 4 laps or whatever it is on a race over there. So we'll see how he gets on. But De Wil, he's got other ideas. De Wil has been sat in the top 4 for the entire race, so he's not, well, I mean, he can see that podium, look. it's right there and it's red, so he's going to want that back. As we go into turn 1, that awkward left-hander, because as you get on the power there, most cars, the back end's going to want to try and step on you. You've got to be careful, but you need to be, obviously, well, you know, you've got people breathing down your neck, so you need to be carrying enough speed through there. Same with this one. If you don't get that angle just right, it will push you really wide, and Raikkonen's made a mistake there. De Wil needs to try and capitalise on that, which he is looking to do as we run up towards Klein chicane. Hard on the brakes. De Wil's definitely showed him his nose there. Watch those curbs, buddy. He's safe through there. Right, let's change who we're on, so we can have a look in these wing mirrors. We can have a look behind. We'll see exactly how close this is. So he's alright for now. I'll be very interested to know what's going on with those tyres. So his traction's on 3, ABS on 4, his brake bias is 63.6, okay. And who we get coming up to get past, that was good driving there. Oh, we've had contact. Do you know what, I was just going to say that was good driving by Raikkonen, because he used the back marker. He used him in a way that put him in a good position to brake, and that would have put De Wil offline, but obviously that put De Wil quite a bit offline because there was just contact. Be interested to see that from De Wil's point of view. So De Wil was now driving like an angry man. He's like, no way, it's my podium. Anyway, guys, 70 minutes left. No one's given me the correct answer yet. Let's run through this question very, very quickly. We are in Belgium. Belgium is famous for its chocolates, as we know. It's also famous for waffles and beer. In Belgium, there are some very, very famous buildings, and one of those buildings houses one of the world's most prominent security firms. Okay, can you give me the name of the security firm, security outfit, security organisation? I'll try and make it easy for you guys. That has its HQ in Belgium. Come on, free setup available. Any car, any track. Somebody. Give me an answer. Right one, preferably. As we'll watch DeWill trying to hunt back down Raikkonen, but you know what? It's 2 seconds. It's not easy to pull that back. Although Raikkonen, it would appear, those two have pulled 3 seconds back to Michael. So IR Graham is nearly 15 seconds down the road. He might as well get a cigar out at the moment. Touchwood, nothing goes wrong. You can see GT Jamie still sat in the pits there. And Crazies is up to 5th. DeWill up to 6th. So it would appear Bruges is having more issues. If you remember, Bruges was sat in 3rd place. You know, he would have been very happy with that. And then he had an incident at the chicane, went off, took a load of gravel, he lost a couple of places, and he's also then lost 2 more, so he might have had another issue, which is unfortunate. Kevin is still in 8th place. What a great job Kevin is doing. Again, you're looking at points for the teams. You've got the 2 Ferraris there in the top 10, you've got the 2 Nissans in the top 10. So those guys, and Bruges and Raikkonen, in terms of teams, they're doing pretty well. Kino is doing a great job in 9th. Great job in 9th, mate. Well done. Just a shame with that pit stop situation. And then he's being chased down by I Am Slow. We haven't looked at I Am Slow today that much, really, because there's been so much going on. But if you're not aware, I Am Slow is our is our driver from Down Under who uses a controller. So we call him the controller. And I Am Slow finds himself in the top 10, so well done to him. And he's now looking to create some trouble with Kino. So we'll keep an eye on that. DeWill is only 3/10 off Raker now, and Nathbit is only 3/10. Oh, well, there's a move going, so Tro's gone defensive there. Similarly to last time, Nathbit just drives around the outside of Tro, so I think Tro needs to be a little bit more punchy with his defensive driving there, because that Lexus shouldn't walk past him that easily. So Raikkonen is still defending, so you'd have to say DeWill is quicker, because he's pulled that gap back from 2 seconds down to half a second. So I would say at this stage of the race, Raikkonen is quicker. DeWill's quicker, and I think his tyres are going to be in better nick. If you remember, he was sat in the pits for a little while. We watched people going past, so I think he's got fresher tyres. That's what's going on there. So Graham and Michael out in 1st and 2nd. Raikkonen holding on to the last podium place by the skin of his teeth at the moment, really. DeWill, he wants that. And then Crazies and Will are in 5th and 6th in the Nissans. Bruce is in 7th. Kevin 8th, and then Kino and I Am Slow. There's only half a second between them, so that has developed. I'm going to keep an eye on that as well. Yeah, you can see DeWill's definitely quicker. So I Am Slow is only 7/10 behind Kino. Want to try and give everybody who's actually involved in a battle some good airtime. Tro's now a second behind Nathbit, so it looks like Nathbit is definitely quicker there. Let's just pop on this one. Okay, so that is quite a it's not a substantial gap, is it? It's one mistake and the place is gone. But we'll stick on this one. This is the battle that's been taking place for quite a while now. Can these two stay this tight for the next 30 minutes? That's the question. If I'm getting hot commentating, I dread to think what this lot are feeling as they go through clean chicane. They both did alright there, but DeWill's definitely got a better drive out there as they're coming down to Gilles Villeneuve. Not really a passing spot, but he can get Raikkonen completely, and he does. Oh, okay. So Raikkonen, obviously, because he went off track there, he slowed up, so he didn't get a warning. So maybe he has got a drive through anyway. So he obviously slowed up there to try not to get that penalty. Oh, boys, that is not impressive. And then it looked like De Wil was moving out of the way to let him back through because of what happened before, and Raikkonen just didn't realise and went into him. So that isn't probably what you want to see. And after all of that, that means that our man Crazies, well, he's been plugging away, hasn't he? He's been plugging away all race. He qualified way down, but in that Nissan, he's just picked a strategy, and he's just been plugging away, and he finds himself on the podium. So I think we can safely say that Graham and Michael, they're out of there. Crazies is up to third, so Raikkonen's gone into the pits to do his drive through. Is he actually? So here he goes, and De Wil is in the pits as well. He's in neutral, so we'll see what De Wil's doing, whether he's going to come back out or not. These two are pretty much, wow, you can see how close they are, look. Dear, I wonder if they love each other that much right now. Who knows? So Crazies third, Friedman fourth. So Team Nissan, I know that's not their name, but that's what I'm calling them right now. They're doing a blooming excellent job. So Bruges is the only one that's going to upset that party, so he can now see his podium again, but you can see his steering inputs. It looks like his tyres aren't loving him that much. Kevin finds himself up in 6th in the Ferrari, so that's, again, some really good points there for North-South Racing. Kino is up to 7th. If only, Kino, if only you were up to 7th, mate. Oh, yeah, that was worth cutting there. I am slow up to 8th. So Raikkonen, well, Raikkonen's not doing a drive-through, is he? So he's obviously decided he's not going anywhere. And De Wil is also not moving anywhere. So we are getting some drama, peeps. We are getting some traction. Dave says, is it NATO? Traction Dave, you are again the winner of Coops competition. It is NATO. Well done. Well done. So there's another free setup on the way to you. Let me know what car, what track, and I'll get it sorted, mate. So Michael in 2nd place, but let's have a look at Graham for a little while, yeah, as our featured driver, championship leader, and current race leader. 32 lap, 33rd lap on, optimum track. We've got under 10 minutes left of this race. Let's move to this one though, because, well, that's pretty close. So, this was developing earlier on. So Kino in 7th, I am slow in 8th. These two have been pretty much, well, they've been holding hands for quite a while. And it looks like they finally want to have a little dance. Although Kino, unlucky, it won't really make... Just stacking them up, it's the only thing that I'll win. Yeah, you're right. You might be right there. I don't know, mate. But yes, well done. I do try and think of as I am slow goes for a move, they're always going to touch there. You gotta give them a bit more room. I think I am slow. You can't just jump it in there. You were side by side almost into there. So Kino keeps that place. I am slow takes to the grass there. So they did get together and have a little love tap and going a bit deep. So I am slow's a little bit too keen on, a little bit too late on the brakes there, and that's allowed Kino just to scamper away. He's just pulled 6/10 as they go through the last 2 corners. That's a bad exit there from Kino, and this is going to be interesting. So they're both going to get up to speed as we're coming into the left-hander of turn 1. Kino's got the inside line, so he probably needs just to drift towards the apex a bit. He doesn't. I am slow goes deep, and they are side by side, but I am slow now as we're on board has the inside line, so he's going to slowly drift in. You can see Kino's behind. Kino's tried to do a little cut back there, that didn't work. You can see that Ferrari, a little bit of a wiggle there on the way out. Is she going to dive up the inside? Doesn't look like it. You can see on the radar just how close he's getting there into Shields Villeneuve. So I Am Slow is now in a position where he has managed to make up that place. So we go through the twisty section. Any little mistake there, it's only grass and dirt. It's going to pull you offline, it's going to ruin your tyres, and the corners, they don't stop, do they? They just keep on coming into that heavy braking zone there. We've got to get on the power early. So these two are having a great battle at the moment. I will check, keep on that, let's just check over the time. So no change at the top. Graham is still way out there in the lead. Michael second, Crazy's third. Will is only 1.8 seconds behind Crazy's at the moment, as it looked like Keno again through that last chicane, that left right, that's 2 laps running that he hasn't had a great exit from there. So maybe he just needs to, on that entry, as they say, slow him fast out, maybe not get on the power quite as early, because she will drag you out wide. Will Friedman is only 1.4 seconds behind his teammate. Oh, there they go. Crazy's wants that podium because he only needs 5, he was telling me the other day, to hit a landmark, and Will's obviously going to be thinking, oh no, Mr. Crazy, I want another podium. I don't know what accent that really was, but I know he's French because we had him on a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, Will's going to want that podium as well, is what I'm trying to get across to you guys. Yeah. Traction is your fault. All this talk of NATO has made me go all multinational. Too keen on Keno, yeah. I agree. So, how much is he catching him? So he's 1.4 behind, as you can see on the split down on the left. And that is coming down, it's now 1.1. So Crazy's pitted quite early, or maybe he's just pacing himself. There's only 5 minutes left, doesn't want to do anything stupid, doesn't want to go and get himself a drive through or anything like that. And I was going to say, imagine if we had like some kind of team management framework within FRL. You know, those two now, they could be in an open chat with whoever's running their team, and they'll be discussing, is there team orders? Are we clear to race? All those sort of things that would happen. Well, guess what? We are currently discussing that at the moment within FRL, to have a number of teams that will span across the different car classes. It sounds simple, a little bit more complicated, but the powers that be are talking about this at the moment for, you know, a team manager to run those teams, decide who's going to race in what championships, and be involved on race day, and look at, you know, having a team structure really. And I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's a little bit of evolution that might be on the way for FRL, which I'm not saying is needed, but I'm saying would be another feather in the cap for, I think, probably the best league there is out there at the moment. So Graham's still first, Michael second, Crazy's, as we can see, just ahead in third. And then we've got Will. Bruges is 4 seconds behind, so he's not going to challenge these two unless they get into any bother. And then I Am Slow 7th, Kevin 6th. Kevin, brilliant drive from you, buddy, in the Ferrari. That's going to please your teammate as well as yourself. And I Am Slow is 7th. 2.5 seconds behind him is Keno DJ in the other Ferrari in 8th, but as we say, he had an issue with that pit stop and that pit setup. So that's where we are at the moment. 3 minutes to go. This could be a titanic battle. I would suggest Crazy's is taking it a little bit easy there, because the wheels seem to get on the brakes quite a bit later. So we might get a couple more, we might get 3 laps in, we'll see. And obviously thanks to everybody who has been watching so far this evening. It's It's always great to interact with you guys, and hopefully I managed to convey the action in an entertaining way, which I'm sure we do. This one, if this one ends in tears, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. Need to have a little check on the Discord to see. Yeah. Okay. Well, as you would expect, there is some chat going on in the Discord in Taco Tier 1 with regards to a couple of the incidents that have happened, so we'll get those ironed out afterwards. You can't have 20 competitive racers at this skill level and occasionally things boil over or cross the line. It does happen, but for the main, it's been very good. Yeah, so 2 laps to go then, I would suggest. So Will Crazies has just gapped that, so it's over a second again now. Yeah, he's not going to take it from him, is he? Or is he? I don't know. It's so exciting. So Graham's done. Graham's out there. No one's touching him. As you can see, Rakachu, DeWill, and GTJ are all sat in the pits. They've all hung up their gloves, if you like, for the evening. Through different incidents that were going on, which we'll have a recap on afterwards. So Graham is absolutely, well, he's in a class of his own, isn't he, really? He didn't think he was going to be tonight, because personally he's not a great fan of the track. Featured driver on the interview, currently the championship leader. He's going to extend that lead. Michael is doing an excellent job in second place. Again, he just keeps finding those podiums, so he's not far off, you know, being a permanent, as a real challenger. Crazies is up to third with his teammate winning fourth place. There was certainly some issues going on, so Rikachu and DeWill were in third and fourth respectively, and then there were some issues with the back marker, caused a little bit of a crash, and then one went to get out the way to let the other one by, and he obviously didn't realise that was happening, and then he smashed into the back of him, and that's pretty much, you know, those two then went and sat in the pits and are probably in their motorhomes having a little chat about it with their lawyers. Bruce is in fifth, Kevin is in sixth. What a great run from Kevin. You could say, okay, he hasn't really been passing too many people, but you know what, that doesn't matter. Kevin's had to be consistent and quick and take advantage when other people have got into trouble. So well done to you. I Am Slow's very good run, up in 7th place. Keno is in 8th. It's such a shame. He's been having a great race, but that pit stop hasn't registered, wasn't completed correctly, so he won't get 8th place. Marek up to 9th. That's good solid for Marek at the moment. And then Nathbit in 10th place. Then you got Tro, Reedy, Kaga, and Fresh Jinx, and Lurchies out the back, 3 laps down. But as I said again, Lurchies has stepped up to tier 1 this year. It is a different level, but you know what, Lurchies, he's still going. Yeah, he's still going for it. He's going to learn a lot. That was Crazies really cutting that. That was pretty close there. And as we just managed to cut to Graham. So we cut to Graham coming across the line, taking first place. Well done, Graham. Amazing driving, mate. That was certainly a good show. So another victory for Graham. Michael comes across the line in second. Well done. That's a second place for Michael, North South Racing. Excellent try from you. Crazies is coming up to the line now with his best buddy, teammate Will. So the 2 Nissans will cross the line for 3rd and 4th. Great drive from those two, from towards the back of the field. Great team points. Some nice synchronised weaving there. Bruges is going to bring it home in 5th. Good run from Bruges. It could have been a podium, but I think he had a tyre issue. I Am Slow is in 6th place now. So Kevin's had an off, has he? Or has he run out of fuel? So I Am Slow's got up to 6th. Kevin's run out of fuel. Look at that. Come on, Kev. Keep going. Keno has finished in 8th, but he's got 130-second penalty because that pit stop was not completed for whatever reason. Marek's finished 9th. Nathbit is in 10th. Tro is currently in 11th. Reedy's finished 12th, Kagger's 13th, Fresh Jinx is going to finish 14th, Birchies has finished in 15th, and then Rikachu, DeWill and GTJ make up the 18. Who we had I believe we had a rage quit earlier on. GT Jamie 141, I think it was. He got a drive through and then went to the pits and disappeared. So I assume that was a rage quit. Go on, Kev, go, go, go! Kevin crawls across the line. Well done, Kevin. So Kevin manages to finish in 7th place. Maybe disappointed with that. Probably wanted the 6th. But well done. Congratulations, podium. Congratulations, everybody. If you watched that back, there was some excellent racing in there. Really close racing all throughout the field. We've had incidents tonight. We've had a few spills. We've had potential rage quits. We've had quite a few things go on this evening, which all spices it up. And that was just round 3. So obviously, all the places, they will be updated almost in real time. If you thought that was a bit of an awesome show, next Tuesday we're at a similarly twisty, tight, challenging track at Brands Hatch. So don't miss that. Okay, congratulations to Traction Dave for winning Cooper's competition. So free setup will be on its way to yourself, sir. Thanks to everybody that joined in on the live chat. Thank you to everyone that's watched. Please like on my channel. That really helps to get more people to have a look at the channel and FRL in general. And yeah, please feel free to subscribe as well. So guys, you will hear back from me on Sunday evening for the GT3 FRL British GT3 season. But no doubt you'll see some bits coming out on Friday with regards to FRL in general. So, COMMS by Coops, out.